I'll end by saying there's a follow-up email with all the notes from our prep session today that's in your inbox already. So look at that. And if you have follow-up questions, reach out to me first. Wonderful. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. Good evening, everybody. Are we recording?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to call the Tuesday, April 25th regular meeting of the McMinnville City Council, April 25th, 2023 regular meeting of the McMinnville City Council to order. I would ask our city recorder to do a roll call, please.
Councillor Minke. Present. Councillor Chenoweth.
Present.
Councillor Payne.
Present.
Councillor Peralta. Councillor Peralta.
Sorry, mute issues. Present via Zoom. Thank you.
Council President Garvin and Councillor Geary are absent this evening, and Mayor Drabkin.
Here, thank you. I would ask Councillor Chenoweth to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much. This evening, we're going to start with some proclamations. We'll then open up for public comment, and we'll then receive advice and information from councilors on committees and board assignments, and then department head reports. And then we have a one-item consent agenda and a singular resolution. So starting with the resolutions this evening, our first is an Arbor Day starting with the proclamations. Our first is an Arbor Day proclamation. And whereas in 1872, Julius Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska and is now observed throughout the nation and world. And whereas trees reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of our business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the city of McMinnville is celebrating its 26th year as a certified Tree City USA, as recognized by the Arbor Day Foundation. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Remy Drabkin, Mayor of the City of McMinnville, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 28th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the City of McMinnville. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of McMinnville to be affixed this 25th day of April, 2023. Our second proclamation is for Historic Preservation Month. And whereas the National Trust for Historic Preservation, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting America's historic buildings, landscapes, and neighborhoods, established an annual celebration of historic preservation across the country. And whereas this celebration, known as National Historic Preservation Month, was first established and observed by the National Trust for Historic Preservation in 1973, and whereas National Historic Preservation Month is now observed in the month of May every year throughout the country, and whereas the City of McMinnville has a rich history as the primary social and economic center of the Yamhill County region, and whereas the McMinnville Downtown Historic District the economic center of our city, focused on 3rd Street, is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And whereas the city of McMinnville promotes and protects its historic buildings and sites through a locally adopted historic resources inventory managed by the Historic Landmarks Committee, which includes numerous buildings and sites dating back as far as 1853. And whereas the protection of our historic resources enhances the economic vitality of our community, beautifies our built environments, and instills in our community members a sense of pride in the historic importance of the city of McMinnville. Now, therefore, I, Remy Drabkin, Mayor of the City of McMinnville, do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Historic Preservation Month in the City of McMinnville, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Historic Preservation Month and support efforts to protect our valued historic resources throughout the city. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of McMinnville to be affixed this 25th day of April, 2023. We'll now go to public comments.
If I can, before you go to public comments, I'm sorry, it's Heather Richards. I just wanted to follow up on the historic preservation proclamation by sharing with the council and the community that the Historic Landmarks Committee last year put together a series of posters and images of 30 historic resources in McMinnville. We got a lot of interest in those. And so this year for May's Historic Preservation Month, we have posters that we made in those images. I don't know if everyone could see these well. And then also posters as well for all the images. And we'll be selling those as a fundraiser for a historic preservation fund, $10 a piece throughout the month of May at the Community Development Center. So for those who have been asking for it, we have them now, and we'll be launching that May 1st. Thank you.
Well, fantastic. I'll take a set. Excellent. And when I say take, I mean purchase. Thank you. We now invite community members to join us for public comment. Any interested audience members are invited to provide public comment. Anyone may speak on any topic other than a matter in litigation, a quasi-judicial land use matter, or a matter scheduled for public hearing at some future date. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person for a total of 30 minutes. For those on Zoom, please use the raise your hand function or send a chat directly to our city recorder, Claudia Cisneros, if you would like to speak, and she will then unmute you. I will extend this just to say that we cannot receive, although I've already said this, we cannot receive any public comment this evening on the Gwendolyn Hotel project, as that is still in process, and the public hearing has been closed. So with that, Claudia, do we have anyone signed up for public comment this evening?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the gallery that would like to provide public comment this evening? If so, please indicate by raising your hand, and our city recorder will let me know.
It doesn't look like from the gallery, Mark does not want to speak.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. And does anyone on Zoom wish to provide public comment this evening? And is there anyone on the phone?
No, there's no one on the phone.
Okay. We'll now go to advice and information items, starting with our counselors. We'll start with those in the room. Counselor Menke, would you like to begin?
I have nothing to generate this evening.
Thank you. Counselor Chenoweth?
So Thursday, April 20th, the Parkway Committee met, approved minutes as we normally do, went through the current status, which of course, as we all know, we're coming toward the end of the legislative session, so full press on to try to see where we can secure funding to move parts of this project along. So we got kind of an update on all of the phases, 2A, 2B, 2C, and 3, as well as where we're at with the intersection at McDougal. And it's the same as it's been for the last probably 4 or 5 months, continuing to look for partners and building a coalition to get this project completed.
Thank you. Councillor Payne?
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not really sure which mic to use. Landscape review met on the 19th, and while I was not there, I did review their committee report, and I just want to give them a shout out for their very lengthy and thorough review of a landscape plan for an upcoming apartment complex, and then review of 4 street tree removals, which included an ash tree, which is important in preventing the ash borer beetle since it's been identified in Forest Grove.
Thank you very much. And to Zoom, Councillor Peralta?
Thank you, Mayor. Historic Landmarks Committee meets on Thursday. Council of Governments has not met, so no report.
Thank you. For me, I would say that we have McMinnville Affordable Housing Committee meets tomorrow. Councillor Mankey will be running that meeting. I'm at a League of Oregon Cities. I'm at the League of Oregon Cities Spring Conference currently. I've been able to attend a number of sessions on housing today, which was wonderful. And CIS, which is City County Insurance, provided me with, and everybody, they were in a big bowl with these great spectacles, which are supposed to protect your eyes when you're staring at a computer screen all day. So if anybody would like me to pick up some city county swag for them, we can all enter into our next meeting with matching eyeglass wear, and that would be lovely. Just let me know and I'll grab some tomorrow. Department head reports. City Manager Towery.
Nothing to report tonight, Mayor.
To our Finance Director, Jennifer Cuellar.
Nothing to report, thanks.
Thank you. I don't see any other department heads in the room. Is that accurate?
Scott Burke and I are here. I have nothing to report.
Oh, my apologies. I saw you both. I was looking at you on Zoom, so please don't be offended. You have nothing to report. Mr. Burke?
Thanks, Mayor. Nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. And our Community Development Director, Heather Richards.
Nothing to report tonight either. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll now consider the consent agenda. Does any counselor wish to have the one item removed from the consent agenda for discussion? And if not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the consent
Second.
agenda.
I have a motion from Counselor Chenoweth and a second from Counselor Mankey. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll consider resolution number 2023-19, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of McMinnville approving allocation of American Rescue Plan ARPA funds. And I'd call on our Finance Director, Jennifer Cuellar, to present.
Good evening. So the resolution before you, 2023-19, is follow-up to the Budget Committee meeting that had a work session on April the 11th, I believe it was, a couple weeks back. And so what this does is enact the budget adjustments for all of the projects that were discussed in that meeting, except for one. We held out the library HVAC. They're going to do some more investigation, and then we'll address that later. So the net impact of this is to increase the allocation by just over $200,000, leaving approximately $817,000 still yet to be allocated to particular projects. And if folks have questions about about any of the individual projects. And your options here today are to ratify the resolution consistent with the feedback we got from the Budget Committee meeting. You could take it back and look at individual ones and pull new things off if you'd like. Or you could choose not to adopt the resolution and leave the budgets where they are. So those are basically what your options are tonight.
Thank you so much. I just want to start by saying that I appreciate your diligence in digging in a little deeper on the library HVAC. There was a lot of conversation about that during the Budget Committee meeting, and I feel that while you had perhaps a majority heading in one direction, taking the time to dig in a little deeper is very reflective of being able to really bring the council and committee's thoughts, ideas, and concerns to the forefront. So thank you for the way in which you've proceeded with this. And with that, I'll open this up to any questions or comments. And Councilor Peralta, I see you're unmuted.
Oh, yeah, that was my mistake. I don't have any comments. I support the resolution as written.
Thank you. Any other councilor wish to comment or question?
Yeah, I'd like to comment if I may, Mayor. I also would like to echo your sentiments of being grateful and thankful that the decision was made to dig a little deeper on the HVAC system, since I was one of those that was voicing concerns in the direction it was heading. It makes it easier for me if I can be at a yes. I don't like to be stumbling blocks, so I do appreciate that, and I think it's going to help us make sure we're making the best decision. So thank you very much for being willing to do that.
Wonderful. Any other comments from councilors or questions?
I'm happy with the proposed allocations as they stand.
Wonderful. I would, let's see, do we want to poll the council, Claudia? It's a resolution? Or can we,
It's
Do
up
we
to you.
move the,
yeah, I guess I'd entertain a motion to approve,
I move that we approve the motion as proposed. The allocation of the ARPA funds as proposed.
do I have a second?
second?
We have a motion from Councilor Menke and a second from Councilor Peralta. And now I believe, Claudia, you should poll the council.
Councilor Payne. I agree. Councilor Chenoweth.
Aye.
Councilor Minke.
Aye.
Councilor Peralta.
Aye.
Wonderful. So the resolution passes unanimously. And it is 7:21 p.m., which now may be a record for the fastest meeting ever of the McMinnville City Council. I don't know if that's true or not, so please don't quote me on it. And 7:21 p.m. and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Chris. I saw the extra effort on the gavel.